Hey everybody, this is Anjanette from AJ's Personal Touch again. Welcome back to my subscribers and welcome to anybody who is new, who has joined in today. I'm not showing any of my makes or anything today. I'm going to do the 30 Never Have I Ever questions. Um, from what I've seen people doing this, they don't do it like the regular when you play Never Have I Ever, which is you raise your hand if there's something that somebody asks, says that they have done that you have never done. Um, but it's basically just answering 30 questions about whether we have or not done these things with crochet. So I've watched a couple people do these. And again, I was not tagged in these, which I said on what I put up earlier when I drew my second subscriber appreciation earlier today. But I wanted to do it, so I'm going to do it because sometimes people will say anybody who wants to do it, go ahead. So I'm sure somebody has probably said that, and if they have, then I guess I've been tagged by them. Otherwise, I have not officially been tagged. Sorry, my cat does not know what she wants to do tonight. She's been all over me all day. She wants to be with me, but yet crawl on me and be away from me. She can't decide, so she just had her treats, so she cannot get mad at me that she has not had her treats. Honestly, I'm not feeling the best, but I wanted to get on here and do this. I meant to do it a little bit earlier, but my best friend called and I've not heard from her in a long time. And so, of course, I wanted to take her call and talk to her, which was nice. Hopefully, she'll remember to just let me know when she has a little bit of time in her car again and we can talk. And I was getting protein balls finished, and things are taking me a long time because, let's see, I've got a bruise on my hand from a blood draw, but the bad part about this one is they hit a nerve, which is right down here. Even if I touch it, I can feel the nerve just zings. So I'm having a hard time even crocheting right now. But I do have to get working on my Father's Day gift here in a little bit. Ow, Kahlua. I'm also, my chronic pancreatitis is starting to flare up. So when she wants to walk on my abdomen, it kind of hurts. So let's see if we can get her to stay laying down here and not walking all over Mama for a little bit. I need to turn something off on my phone here real quick and we can get going. Okay. So there's 30 of these. Never have I ever questions. First one. Never have I ever crocheted in public. I'm not going to say never have I ever before all of them. I probably will for a couple. But crocheted in public. Yes, I have crocheted in public. Normally, when I'm going to a doctor's appointment, I usually take a bag with me and I will sit while I'm waiting to go back, or while I'm in the room once you get back and then waiting for the doctor. Um, I know there was a time when we went down to Indy for one of my appointments. It was a long day and I had not gotten much crochet time in, and we went to eat and I wasn't very hungry and I knew I was probably only going to eat a couple bites. So I took my crochet in with me to crochet while my husband ate. When my daughter was younger, I know when we used to ride over to the park, take our bikes, I would take a bag with me sometimes and crochet while she would play on the equipment outside. So, so yeah, within my years of crocheting, I have crocheted in public. Crocheted in a car. Yes, almost every single time we go down to Indy for an appointment, I will end up crocheting at some point in time in the car. The only rule is that I cannot bring good hooks because there was one time, and it was just a regular Susan. I'm glad it was just a Susan Bates hook that it fell, and we heard it go, bing, and it hit the floor. And then I heard it go back and forth like when he would turn a corner. And I think it got up underneath the padding, like where your feet are and stuff. and like got into the frame of the car somehow, because we never found that. And I went out looking everywhere. I pulled up the um ow, I want to say floorboards, but it's not floorboards, the mats, the floor mats. I pulled up the mats and everything I could, but I think it got in one of those cracks um, down in the floorboard or something, because I never found that crochet hook, and my husband never ever found that crochet hook after then. So, and one time I had one of my furls hooks, and I was just regular crocheting, and the tip broke on it. It was a wooden one. They replaced it for me very nicely, sent them pictures. I was hoping to get the tip back to see, I don't know if I could do something with it. I didn't know what I was going to do. Maybe make a little, I don't know. I thought I would add it to something, some kind of decoration I was going to hang on the wall, that I was thinking of by my yarn and stuff, but he found it and threw it away and didn't think that I wanted it. So, but I did. I was going to try to make it look like the furls hook and put it somehow on something decorative, even though it couldn't be used anymore. Um, Crocheted outside. I guess I answered that one by saying when I crocheted in the park. Crocheted at work. Uh, when I worked for other people, like when I worked at McDonald's, well, no, because I was younger, I was working at McDonald's. That would have been hard to do. I think when I worked as a pharmacy tech, yes, I took my crochet, but didn't crochet like during work time. I crocheted during breaks. And then when I had my massage office, I would take my crochet in, because sometimes I would have um, like somebody scheduled in at 10 o'clock in the morning, and the next person wouldn't be scheduled in till like noon or 12:30 or 1. So I would maybe take a walk along the river, take my crochet, sit down on a bench, which I guess that was when I crocheted outside then, and I'd crochet on the bench. Or if it was too warm to do that, I would just stay in. There was a rocking chair that I had for my clients that they could sit in. They could keep their clothes in and stuff, in the little private spot that I had, and I would sit in the rocking chair and I would crochet in between people when I was waiting for my next person to come in. Maybe I would go and get something to drink or something and bring it back, and or sometimes I take a sandwich or a protein bar with me, whatever, eat my lunch and then crochet. So I always had something to do. And if I didn't work on stuff like that, then I'd work on my schedule, or, calling clients, or, stuff in between. But yes, I would take crochet in with me to do, especially if I had something that needed to get done. Like if it was getting around Christmas and I had my gifts to finish and things like that. Sold my crochet, yes. That's one thing I'm trying to do now, is basically crochet for hire, not work as somebody who makes a lot of things and then puts it in a shop, but somebody who will do custom crochet. If somebody wants to order crochet items for me from like Christmas or whatever, and they tell me what they want, then I find a pattern and I show them different patterns to see, what it is that they are actually wanting, and, get a description from them and try and find as close to what I can to what they want. Um, Given crochet as a gift, yes, all the time. Right now that I'm disabled, I really can't afford to give a lot of gifts, so I crochet and I give my crochet as gifts. So, like my daughter knows now, that's probably the main thing she's going to be getting from me for a while, at least until I get my business going. She gets, and then my husband usually gives her money. So, but she always shows me things that she wants. For Mother's Day, she got me a Pokemon book, because she would like every Pokemon that's in that Pokemon book at some point in time for me to make it. So, as she told my husband, it was a gift for her and not really me. So, received crochet as a gift. Now, honestly, I didn't know until about a year ago. Somebody else like as a friend or somebody who crocheted. Oops, take that back. I almost completely forgot. My uncle, when my aunt, who I was really close to, when she passed away, he got remarried. And when he remarried, he married a lady who crochets. And I guess we did at Christmas time, like my first scrubby made out of scrubby cotton came from her. So I got my first crochet gift from her. So yes, I have. Um, but recently, now my uncle has passed away and we don't see his ex-wife anymore. Um, well, I guess she's not ex, his widow. We don't see my aunt by marriage. We don't see her anymore. Um, so I met my friend Nadine over a year ago because I started my channel a year ago. So it's been maybe about 2 years now that her and I have been talking. And for the first Christmas that we were together, she, we knew we were sending each other gifts like yarn and different things. And she actually made me some ornaments. And I thought that was really sweet because I've never had crocheted stuff from somebody else, only what I've made, um, besides my Aunt Diane. And then this last year when she sent me a box late for my birthday, she had a hat that she had made me in there. Which I was a little surprised at the hat because I had told her I was going to make one for myself. And she had made me one too, and it's really nice. The only problem is that it's got a little bit. It's made out of wool that's kind of itchy, and I can't wear it. It's just me too much. Even though I don't really have a lot of problem with wool, um, unless it's the itchy kind, and it is, and it itches me, and it keeps me way too warm. Normally, I just wear like a headband around my ears in the wintertime because otherwise I get too warm, and then I start to get headache. So, which I need to make myself. So far the headbands that I have are just store-bought ones. I need to make myself. Well, I'll take that back. I did make one. I made Tess loves this yarn. It has a crochet pattern crochet pattern for the Outlander cowl, and I made that not this past Christmas, but the Christmas before for myself. And then I had leftover yarn that I had made the cowl with, and I made myself a cowl or a matching headband with the chunky yarn. So, never have I ever hoarded yarn because it was on sale. Yes, I have, but I did that more when I was younger, when I didn't when all I was making was baby blankets. So if I got a Hirschner catalog and it said that they were having a sale on baby yarn, like I can remember I got baby yarn for 81 cents a skein at one point in time, from Hirschner's. And granted, I didn't realize it was the 50-gram skeins, but it didn't matter. I bought like a bag of, I think there was like 24 in a bag. And so for each color, I had done that. So yeah, at that point in time, I hoarded that yarn. But there was plenty left for other people. Um, but otherwise, no, I don't really hoard a lot of yarn anymore. My husband keeps telling me I got to use what I have. Um, but I did, my best friend went to, last year, went to Christmas tree shop when they had some Lion Brand yarn. That Lion Brand had discontinued and sold to them, and they were selling it for $1.94, I think, or $1.54, something like that a skein. It was less than $2. And my friend went and got me some, and then I loved it so much my mom went back to get me some more. But I really wouldn't call it hoarding. I think I got like eight skeins of like two colors and then four skeins of all the other colors that I liked. So I think I got a total, I don't know, maybe 40 skeins between the two of them going. So yeah, and a tank top out of one of them already last year. I'm making something out of another one that I actually ended up having to buy more, find it from somewhere else. Parishioners that had it, and then they discontinued. Then they ran out of it right after I bought it, and I had to buy a different color of blue. They had two different shades of blue, so I'm going to put both shades of blue in the same project. But no, I tend not to hoard it because I don't have the money to buy it to hoard it now. So even if I really wanted to, I really can't. And this year, as you guys all know, I'm not buying yarn unless I absolutely have to. If I don't have what I need for, if somebody orders something for me, then I will get yarn. If I'm making a gift and I don't have the right colors, then I will get yarn. But otherwise, no, I'm using what's in my stash. So, where am I? Trying to mark off the numbers here and read off of the screen so I know where I'm at, and I'm not marking the numbers off well. Spun your own yarn? No, I have never. That I never have I ever spun my own yarn. Um, and I probably never will because as somebody else that I was watching said, that would be like a new hobby. And then when you start a new hobby, you have to get all the things in order to do the new hobby. And I can't afford that. I can't, I know I can't afford a spinning wheel to spin my own yarn. And I know this applies as far as getting the amazing wools and um, stuff that you work at to spin your own yarn is very expensive. And I just can't afford that. Spent hours looking at patterns. Yes. When it comes to looking for the right pattern, I can go down a rabbit hole for a while. Like the Mew that I just made my daughter, I think I spent probably the first night I started looking, I think I spent about 2 hours. And then when I started looking later on, because that was like a year before I knew I was going to make it for her, around after Christmas last year, I sat down because I knew I wanted to make it for her birthday this year. And I think I spent about 4 hours one night until I found the right pattern that I knew I wanted to make. So, and because I knew I was going to have to buy it, and I wanted to make sure that I would be able to understand the pattern. So not only was I looking at the pattern, I was looking at the comments left on the from the people who had, bought the patterns, so that I knew that I was going to be getting a pattern that I could actually make, and not one that I was going to look at it and be like, what does this say? Which recently, it reminds me of recently in a group that I'm in on Facebook, somebody has this gorgeous pattern that she's trying to get people to make of hers, and it's of an amigurumi doll, and it's just gorgeous, but it's written in Portuguese. And I said, I can't read this, and I'm not going to be able to make this pattern. And she's like, oh, follow this link, and it'll translate. Well, the web page translates, but the only way you can open the pattern is they send you the free PDF form, then you open the PDF. Well, the PDF is in Portuguese, and I can't get anything to translate that for me. I tried everything. My the Adobe program, when you open it, that won't translate it. The Chrome program, when you open it, that's not translating it, or the Google. None of them are translating it for me. So I tried, but it wasn't working. Well, then she sends another link. It says, well, no, you need to do this. And with this course, you get over 4,000 amigurumis plus translation. And I was like, no. I said, I will pay for the pattern to get translation for one pattern, but I don't need a course that I don't need to take because I already know how to crochet amigurumi, because it's a course to teach you how to crochet amigurumi. And I don't need over 4,000 amigurumi designs, and I don't have the money to pay for the course. I just don't. I'm like, I could pay for a pattern, but not for the course. So yeah, I told her, I said, please quit sending me more links and things. I don't have money to pay for your course. If I can get the pattern by itself, I'd be more than happy to pay for the pattern. And then all of a sudden, she took that one down off the site and she put up a brand new one. So I was like, well, evidently it must only be the course, because she didn't want to just sell the pattern translated. And most people, most pattern writers, most designers, when they write a pattern, especially if they are from somewhere, like if it's in Portuguese or something, they will make it so it will translate, you know, to English and Dutch and German, and and different ones. But no, not in this case. And then there are quite a few designers, from the U.S. who will also make sure that there's translates for people overseas. So yeah, I wasn't too happy with that. But yeah, I love looking at patterns and dreaming of making different things. My issue is I don't have enough time to make everything I want to. Stayed up all night to crochet. Yes, I have done that, especially at Christmas time when I need to get things done. Um, I try to stay up a couple nights before Christmas to get it done so that I can be rested for Christmas and I'm not up the night before trying to get, like my last thing done. But I know this last year I was up a couple of nights before Christmas got here just trying to get everything done in time. Canceled plans to crochet instead. No, that I do not ever remember canceling plans so that I can crochet instead of whatever my plans were. I've never done that. Now, I've had somebody cancel on me, to do something, and then I may stay home and crochet. But I have never just called somebody and said, I don't want to do this with you, or I don't want to do that with you, and then stay home and crochet. Yeah. I But you guys also know I'm disabled. I'm home all the time. So if I have a chance to get out of the house, I want that chance and I want to get out of the house. So, um, taking on a huge project. Yes, I've taken on a few huge projects. I have whips that aren't even finished. Right now I'm in the middle of like 3 different blankets. So, but I think the biggest project, even though in size wise it was only, I think, 11 by 8, if I remember right, was the wall hanging that I made my daughter for last year. I consider that probably the biggest project I've done to date, and it was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm glad that I did it and that I challenged myself in order to do it. I'm doing a mosaic blanket right now, and I've never done mosaic before. So I considered that a huge challenge as well. Gotten bored with the project. Yes, I have gotten bored with the project. And I've watched, like I said, a couple people do this one, and both of them are like, oh no, I don't get bored. I just move on to something else. Well, yeah, if I tend to start getting bored with something, I will move on to something else. But I'm moving on to something else because, let's face it, I'm bored. Um, and it's not that I don't like how it turns out in the end, but like when I was making the dish towels and different things for my daughter for Christmas 2 years ago, they all look great. I love how they look, but I got bored making the dish towels. The wash rags and the washcloths for her in the bathroom and that, those didn't bore me because they're small. But when I was making the big dish towels, yeah, I started to get bored. Unless I have a pattern that uses, that changes up and isn't the same stitch throughout the whole entire dish towel, then yes, I'm going to get bored. Same with hats. Hats bore me. Um, unless they happen to be a hat that has a lot of different stitches. And that's one reason why I love to go and watch Bag O'Day and watch her tutorials, because she'll think of the hat as she's making it, and she puts so many different stitches into her hats that I can't get bored. I'm learning something with every row. And so I don't get bored. But the beanies where like you do it just in single crochet for the whole beanie, yeah, those tend to bore me. So I tend not to do those. I think for Hat Not Heat last year, I did a ponytail beanie that was half double crochet, and that one wasn't bad. But if I have to do single crochet for the whole thing, oh, forget about it. Let me see. Skipped work to crochet. That I would have to say no. I can never ever remember skipping work to crochet. Crochet has always been my side thing. It's always been my hobby. Now it's my main work, but it's never been my main work before. So, but it's also my hobby now because I'm still making things for people to give as gifts, and I'm loving what I'm doing. If I was just working with crochet, making things for other people, to get paid for, I think I'd get bored and I'd get tired, and because it'd just be too much of a job then. Um, but no, I take work seriously. I grew up with a very strong work ethic with my parents. I mean, to the point of that you go to work when you're sick, which I've had to teach my parents along the way that no, that's not the right thing to do because you can make people who, you know, who shouldn't be, that you shouldn't be sick around. You end up being around people and then you can make them sick and you can make, their health worse. Um, just like I don't agree with a perfect attendance policy in the schools because most kids, in order to get perfect attendance, end up going to school when they're sick. And especially like during the COVID outbreak and with my husband working in the school system at the time, we saw too many cases of kids coming in and their parents sending them to school and they had COVID and then they gave it to other kids. So, yeah, no, I only call off work when I'm sick. I don't call off work to crochet, or at least back when I was working. I would never have done that. Where's the next one? Had a project ruined by a pet. No, I cannot remember ever having one of my projects ruined by a pet. What I do with my cats, because they tend to leave my projects alone, um, I will give them their own little ball of yarn, just a little small one, like maybe 10 grams of yarn, roll it up, toss it out there for them, and they're happy. They have their own and they leave me alone. My husband's cat, he will come up to me if I'm crocheting and he will knock me on the elbow if he wants a new thing of yarn. Sometimes he will try and play with the strand that I'm actually, crocheting with, and all I have to do is tell him no, Halford, no, and he will turn around and he'll go and lay down, or he'll find one of his balls of yarn and he'll play with it. And if he's wanting another ball and I just don't realize it at the time, he'll come back and he'll either keep trying to play with that strand or he'll knock me on the elbow, like I said, until I give him another new ball. Um, but they do well. It's not like we have a ton of yarn around here. It's just after a while they get tired of playing with the same ball and then they want a new one. And then I will pick the other one up and I'll wrap it up and I'll put it, somewhere where I know where it's at. So the next time they want a ball of yarn, I may take that one down. Or I may leave it up until after, I've given them at least two. So he won't remember that he had had that one. Because if I give it to him like right away after the last one I did, lots of times he'll remember it and he'll be like, I don't want to play with that. I just got done playing with that one last time. So yeah, he's a pretty smart cat. Um, had a project ruined by a child. Mm, yes. And it was not my child, it was my godchild. And I don't even know if I would call her a child anymore at the time. She was a preteen, I think. And I had made my daughter her first big blanket. And normally all I had ever done was baby blankets. And they knew that because my goddaughter had gotten her baby blanket. Unfortunately, her father, who I don't get along with very well, he ended up getting his car impounded, and the baby blanket was in there and it was lost. She never got it back. So, because of that, and because she fell in love with the blanket that I made my daughter, I made her her own adult sized blanket when she was a preteen. Unbeknownst to me, she was interested in crochet and to see how the stitches worked and how it, you can go from a ball of yarn to a beautiful blanket. And she unraveled the blanket trying to see how the stitches worked. And instead of her mom telling me this and giving me all that yarn back, she threw it away, thinking that if it was out of sight, it would be out of mind, and I would never ask about the blanket. And I did, and she came out and told me the truth. And then I was really upset because I was like, if you would have given me the yarn back, I could have rewound it and I could have reused it. I could have either made her another blanket, which I don't know if I would have done because even to this day, I'm still a little sour and not sure if I want to make her another blanket. But she has learned how to crochet since then, so she knows what work goes into crocheting. She hasn't stayed with it because it is too much work for her. She's got ADHD and all these other things. She's got to be up and moving and all the time. So she just has a hard time sitting and crocheting. But yeah, so that was sad, and I literally cried. I was really upset about that. If I ever crocheted something wearable, yes, I made a top for me last year. It was a tester crochet, and on another tester crochet, I had made a tank top. I am in the process of making a sweater for my husband, but that I will consider my first true wearable because it'll be the first one that has sleeves, long sleeves. The one top that I made for the tester pattern had short sleeves, but I can't remember how she described them. Sleeves that were not on the island bias or something like that. Basically, you crocheted the neck, went from top down, you crocheted the neck and the sleeves, and then uh, once it got past where the sleeves were, everything connected into the body. So they're like a little bit like they're short, poofy sleeves, but they connect underneath the arms, and then you go in around and do the body. So you don't have to shape them. You just have to follow the directions as it goes and then connect it when it tells you to connect it. Um, Crocheted toys / amigurumi. Yes, I do it all the time and I love them. And I know you guys know that because I show you guys what I make. I guess I can't say all the time, but I have made a few and I do plan on making more. Uh, Bartered with your crochet. Yes, that's something else I have done is bartered with my crochet. I learned when I was massaging how to barter with my massage. So I have also offered up crochet for things as well, especially when I am very low on funds. Um, Depending on what I need. Like I have somebody who's going to come and help me put up a website. I offered, since I don't have any money to give him, I did offer to make him some crochet things to give away for Christmas gifts or to keep for himself. He told me no so far, but he's a really good friend, and I'm either going to make it, I'm going to make him something no matter what, whether it's something that he says he wants, um, or that he'd like to give away, or just something that I make him to give him for Christmas myself as a thank you. Because there's no way I'm going to have him do all that work for me and then not give him something in return. Um, what else did I do? Oh, I have offered. She has not taken me up on it yet. So I guess I have offered so far. I haven't really per se bartered yet, but it's in the plans. We had pictures professionally done for our 25-year wedding anniversary, and I offered the photographer because we would like to have family pictures done and stuff, and we just can't afford it. And she's really good. She's newer. She's really good. And she's getting into baby photography and all of that. So I offered to make baby items. for her to use as props and things for baby photography. And she had told me that when I start making more things like amigurumi and stuff, to let her know. So I need to reach out to her again and see if she's still interested. Because she was interested in like some baby blankets, maybe some baskets and different things. So yeah, I need to reach back out to her, especially because I have found some cute baby sets, um, with the hats and the diaper covers, can look like unicorns or, different things. So yeah. Um, where am I at now? 20 was bartered. 21. 10 more to go. We're on the last 10. Made crochet items to donate. Yes, I have. I donated to Hat Not Hate last year. I've donated some preemie items. I love to crochet, so if I can donate at the same time, I am more than happy to. I think I gave some of my crochet stuff to the homeless shelter before. Um, I have sent some to, I'm not going to think of her name right now. Oh, Rose Likes Crochet for wings. So yeah, I have donated before. Had more than 5 whips at one time. I have more than 5 whips right now. So yes, I have had more than 5 whips at one time. Um, I have had, let's see, maybe 4 standing whips for the last couple of years that I need to get back to. Right now they're kind of UFOs, but they will get finished. Um, they're meant to be finished. I just have had other things to do instead, and I need to get back to them. Uh, Received yarn for holiday or birthday. The first time I ever received yarn for my birthday or a holiday was last year when my friend Nadine gave me some, which was really, really nice of her, and I really, really appreciated it. My daughter and my husband, they buy me things that I need to help with my business. Like my daughter got me a Swift for Christmas this year, and then she also got me for sewing the mats that you can put down to cut your cloth with the rotary cutters. And I wanted those because I want to cut strips, and because I have so many sheets left from my massage office. I want to make rugs and stuff out of the sheets, so I need to cut them into strips in order to do that. So she got me those. She's gotten me, oh, I make them now. I want to say crochet markers. Oh my goodness, my brain doesn't work. Progress keepers. Yeah, stitch markers. There we go. She's gotten me stitch markers. She's got me different things. Not this last Christmas, my husband just gave me money to get what I needed. But the Christmas before, he took my wish list from We Crochet and bought me almost every hook that I had on there that I had wanted, and almost every tool that I wanted, just no yarn. He was not going to add to the yarn in the house, so he did not buy me any yarn, but he bought me the other things that I wanted. So I've gotten buttons and different things from them. Safety eyes from my daughter. Mother's Day, I got some safety noses because I needed safety noses. So she likes to get my Amazon wish list or whatever wish list is going to have what I need on it, and then she will buy me what I need for my business. So it's really nice. It's really nice that she does that. And again, she knows, especially if it's safety eyes, safety noses, anything for an amigurumi, she's going to get back what she buys me because I'm going to be making some of that stuff for her. So when it comes to yarn, I think they know that even if I put it on a wish list, and that means that I know what it is, they want to make sure that I get the yarn that I need and that I want, and not something that may just sit on the shelf for a while. So they would rather give me money to get my own yarn so that I can get what I need. Uh, 24. Unraveled one project to start something else. No, I have never done that. Not yet. I won't say that I will never ever do it. Um, if I ever have the chance to drive again and start going to the thrift shops and stuff. I had not heard until I started watching online about all the people who will go and get, authentically crocheted or knitted sweaters and different things, and then take them apart and keep the yarn and make something else for it. If I ever find a great buy, on like an all wool sweater that's a nice soft wool, or a blanket where the yarn is still fantastic, but I may not quite like how the blanket's put together, sure, I'll go get one and unravel it and use the yarn. Um, but I've never done it yet. Designed a crochet pattern. Actually, within this last year, as you guys know, I developed the pattern for a thing to put my hair up in a bun, and also it helps curl my hair. So yes, but that's it so far. Just that little tiny pattern that I have done so far, and then I got on a live and helped you guys make one. I have since changed the pattern, so I do need to write it up sometime, but I have not done that yet. So in the next one, published a crochet pattern. No, I have not published a crochet pattern. Worked with crochet thread. Yes, I have worked with crochet thread before. I made a filet crochet item for my grandma that was like an angel. She was gorgeous, and she was made out of size 10 thread, I believe. I think that's what she was made out of. 10 or 3. I don't remember which one. Um, I've wanted to make some doilies, so I have some thread here. I also want to make some baby headbands that are made out of thread. So, taught 1 to 5 people to crochet. Not yet, but I'm supposed to be teaching my friend who I talked to earlier, her granddaughter, how to crochet. So she'll be my first person. I have helped people tone their skills. Like my friend Nadine, she was just learning how to crochet when I met her, and I helped her with things like how to read a pattern, an easier way to read a pattern, um, how to understand reading a pattern, how I do it, how I make it easier for me to understand a pattern when I'm going through it. Um, and I helped her with some stitches that she was having some issues with. But otherwise, no. I taught 5+ people, no, because I haven't even really quite taught one yet. So no, not 5+. And the very last one, dyed your own yarn. Yes, I have dyed my own yarn. I have dyed yarn using Kool-Aid and also food coloring, so and cake coloring paste. Um, yes, and I loved it, and I will be doing some more. And I want to get some tie-dye so I can dye some cotton yarn that I have. So I would love to learn how to dye acrylic, but I know it's not as easy. And I don't, that again, I love dyeing yarn. And if I knew that I had the strength and stamina to be able to dye yarn and sell it, then I would look into purchasing acid dyes and the different pots and things that I would need to do it, because that would be so much fun. I just don't know if I would have the stamina, because like right now I've only dyed like 2 hanks at a time. Well, the first time I dyed one, and then the next night I dyed another, and then the next time I dyed yarn, I think I dyed 3 hanks in one night. And with those, I didn't do any speckling and things that I want to do. I want to do some with speckles and things like that. But I did tonal, where I did dip dyeing. And when you dip it and having to hold it up and pull it out and then put it back in and out, it takes a lot of work. So yeah, it's something that if I could, I would, but I know I cannot afford to get all of the things that I need to do that right now. And I don't know how well I would do with breathing through the mask and things with my asthma as well. So, but yeah, that's the last one. And with that, I need to get going, and I will get this uploaded so you guys can get it and see it here soon. One thing I forgot to say at the end of my last video, and that I always say, and that I truly mean, remember, if you guys are feeling down and you feel you don't matter, remember you do matter. You matter to somebody. You matter to me, for one, and I know you matter to others around you. And also, if you're having a day like I was having earlier before I came on here to talk with you guys, and now I'm feeling better, and you feel like you are not beautiful and you are not gorgeous, remember that you are. You so are. And I was having one of those days today, and you guys have helped me turn that around, whether you realize it or not. Just me being here talking to you has helped me with that. Remember, you are beautiful, you are gorgeous, you are handsome, and you truly matter. And please don't ever feel that you don't. With that, I need to go, and I will see you guys later. I love you guys, all of you. I will talk to you later.